Yo guys, welcome back to the channel, and I know it's been a really long time since I uploaded last, but I think this video does need to be made. This video is about Fortnite, as most of my videos have been about in the last year nearly, so nothing new there. But what is new is I am beginning to lose interest in the game itself, and I'm going to go through loads, maybe not loads, but I'll go through a good few reasons on why I think the game is dying, and I'm going to explain it. Can it be saved or whatever? So I think I'm going to explain though what Fortnite was and how good it was and stuff first. Now, what I do want to say first is Epic Games is an absolutely brilliant gaming company. They've made so many games in the past, and they've never really done well. They haven't been they haven't blown up as much as like FIFA 19, COD, Watch Dogs, all those games. And then they brought out Battle Royale mode in Fortnite. As you probably know, or as you should know, Fortnite wasn't always a Battle Royale game. It was a Save the World game, as there is a Save the World proportion of the game, but they actually added in the Battle Royale back in September of 2017. Now, if you have been a really early subscriber of my channel, you will know that I have been playing Fortnite since basically the start of the game. I've been playing Fortnite since around the 30th of September. So, and that is, of course, around 4 days after it actually got brought out. And I remember thinking it was the best free game ever. My first live stream on it was saying that it was the best free game ever. My brother loved it. It was in loads of people's eyes the best game. Maybe if that's too far, it was at least the best Battle Royale game. I think the thing about Fortnite, and the thing that's separated Fortnite from all the other Battle Royale games like PUBG and H1Z1 is the graphics and the mechanics, and of course the main proportion of the Battle Royale mode is building. I think building brought a whole new aspect into a Battle Royale community, and it just helped Epic Games so much with Fortnite. I think if Fortnite didn't have building, it wouldn't have blown up as much as it was now. It would have blown up a bit, it just wouldn't be as big as it was, because it would have been more of a basic Battle Royale game. But I just want to say, Epic Games, they're a brilliant company. Take nothing away from them. They've done absolutely magnificent with the game for the past 2 years, and maybe it is time for another game to take over. You remember about Apex Legends? That blew up for about a week, and then Fortnite took over again because Epic Games were too strong. They had consistent updates at least every week, and Apex Legends just could not keep up with that. Fortnite, look, take nothing away from the game, it is an absolutely brilliant game. I think it's just at the moment it's still a good game, but a lot has changed. Now, coming from a season 1 player, it depends. I think it kind of depends on when you started playing. Now, I started playing since before season 1 even, and I do remember how good the game was. I think the peak of Fortnite was probably season 2, season 3, and season 4. Season 5 was season 5 was the most triggering season. Season 6 was very fast. It was very forgettable, I think. Season 7 kind of revived Fortnite a bit. Season 8 was okay, and then now we're in season 9. Now, I just want to say in this video, before I actually go on to the rants and stuff, that this is all down to my opinion. Personally, I do think I'm speaking from most of the community's mind, but this is my opinion, right? I've been playing since season 1, so I've been there since the start. I know how the game has changed and all that, and you know, a season 1 streamer, you might know him, Mr. Grims. He was probably one of, if not the best, season 1 and season 2 player ever, and he stopped playing Fortnite. I mean, he came back in season 9 and he realized how much it changed, and he made a fairly good point. He said the amount that has changed in Fortnite is kind of proving on how much Epic Games wants to keep their community alive. Now, obviously, if you're a gaming company, you are going to be wanting to keep your community alive. That is just a fact. Like, if you just don't bring out updates, the game isn't going to succeed, is it? But I think it's the type of updates they bring out. I think they do probably they do the most unnecessary things to the game. As you know, they took out the pump shotgun. I think that's been out for a good month now, and people are still mad about it. They've added in a burst SMG. Now, that's one of the things that I don't really get, because I'm pretty sure an SMG is supposed to be an automatic weapon, like it mostly is. It's kind of the point of an SMG. Is like it's supposed to fire really fast and stuff, but I suppose, you know, Epic can make whatever weapon they want, I suppose. But so they took out the pump, they nerfed weapons, they vaulted weapons, unvaulted weapons, and then vaulted weapons. Now, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm right, I'm not sure yet. I haven't really looked this up because I haven't played Fortnite now in the past like 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure so I know this for a fact, that they brought back the drum gun due to an unvaulting event, which I think was really good. I think that was actually a really good idea. But the thing that kind of baffled me is, after a month of the drum gun coming out, mostly pros, I think anyway, mostly pros were so mad that it was the drum gun that came out, they actually vaulted the weapon. Now, to me, that kind of makes no sense, because then that was just a waste of time to put that event in. But again, that isn't the worst, you know, that's not the worst can happen. I think the worst thing that they've done is how much the game has changed. Of course, you want the game to change and you want consistent updates, but if you compare the season 1 map to the season 9 map, you can clearly see, I mean, at one glance, you can clearly see a good 5, and I mean 5 differences. Obviously, I preferred the season 3 map. I think season 3 map, I mean, when they brought in Tilted Towers and 10 new named places, I think it was, and they added in, you know, a few more places that weren't named, I think that was a brilliant update. That was a brilliant idea. Tilted Towers was such a new aspect of the game, and it gave more ideas to players to land in. So I think that was a really good idea. Season 4 was kind of when I didn't mind the change. So I was able to live with it, like, but obviously it was a big change, and it was kind of like, so it was kind of like one of those moments where, like, what is the point of it, if you get me? So yeah, and if you don't know what I'm on about, it created Dusty Divot, because in season 3 the meteor appeared in the sky, and then at the end, at the start of season 4, there was a cinematic of the meteor going into Dusty Divot and hit a few other places like Tilted, but it was only a small meteor and all that. So I understand that. I mean, I was able to live with that and whatever now. Season 5, probably a very controversial season, in my opinion. Not the most controversial season, but it's definitely a controversial season. But a season, I literally can't talk, sorry. Now, this was the season where they added vehicles, which I think was a good idea. It was a really fast way to get around the map, of course. I think that was a really good idea. And probably the biggest change in season 5 was the map. Again, right? This is another season where the map has changed very largely. They brought in the desert biome. This added Paradise Palms. It changed the racetrack, which I think was a good change to the racetrack, to be honest. Like, the racetrack was kind of dead before that, no one really landed there. It brought in the place down below Paradise, whatever you call it, Jerusalem. I don't know what he called it, to be honest. I call it Jerusalem. It added more to the map. You know, it was kind of like season 3. It added just a few more places that you could land and change your idea up in the game. So again, that's another thing where it's a big change, and I would have preferred what it was before, but I can live with it, you know. Season 5, the biggest, probably the most annoying season maybe, was the meta. Now, if you don't know what I'm on about, the meta on season 5 was the spray and pray meta. I mean, I think season 5 also introduced the drum gun. I might be wrong here, I'm actually not sure, but the drum gun was in the game at that time, I'm pretty sure, and they actually vaulted it that season because of how much destruction it was doing. I think they buffed the minigun that season as well, and that just, I mean, you couldn't build in that season, you know. It was more like a PUBG kind of a game in season 5. You know, if you built within 2 shots of an SMG or minigun or whatever, like a spray weapon, you just get sprayed down, you get mowed down, and it's just not nice. Like, you can't get into a build battle or to get shot down, and it's just, it wasn't the greatest of things. So personally, I didn't like season 5. Now, I do want to say, by the way, I know I'm not mentioning the battle passes in this, but that is because the battle passes have actually been a really good idea. They've added new stuff into the battle passes every season since season 4, I believe it was. So I think they're doing well with the battle pass. Like, another thing is season 6. Season 6 also brought a really big change. Now, if you didn't know, season 5 introduced the rifts. The rift also spawned up above the sky where the meteor was, kind of. It was a huge rift, and then that done lightning down onto the desert biome, and then created the cube, which some people call Kevin. I don't know why they call him Kevin, but it's the cube anyway. And yeah, season 6 was then, at the end of season 5, the cube started moving around, and it ended up going to Loot Lake. It made Loot Lake purple. You could get around Loot Lake. It was really fun. Season 6, the cinematic on season 6 was quite a surprising cinematic, I think. No, I don't think anyone expected this. As you probably know, the cube lifted up from Loot Lake. It brought the house in the middle of Loot Lake up with it, and there was a massive gap in Loot Lake, which I personally despised. I actually did not like Loot Lake after that. But again, it's another thing. It's another season where I'm like, it's not a good season, but maybe next season will be better, right? So I said, yeah, it's an alright season. Now, the thing that really annoyed me about this season, about season 6, was there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of focus on the cube rather than the actual game. You know, every game you go into, the cube will be moving around with the house, going to each rune and doing whatever it does there and all that. So I think that was I personally didn't really like that season. So again, though, the map change wasn't the worst thing that could actually happen. Like, the map change wasn't even that big. It was just Loot Lake, and that was it, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, and then we come to season 7. Season 7, in my opinion, was when I kind of got drawn back into Fortnite. It was one of those seasons where you die. It's the same at the start of the season as it was the season before, but as the season goes on, you kind of grow interest into it more. And I personally think season 7 was probably one of, if it was, it's not the best season, but it was one of the best seasons. It brought in the planes, which were a really good idea to the thing. Maybe a bit overpowered, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, I mean, season 7, really nothing to say about it. It was all round an alright season, like, to be honest. I mean, I guess the spray was kind of the same. I think the spray was really the only bad thing. Like, yeah, that was the only. I kind of want to hurry on this video anyway, so I'm just going to go on to season 8. Season 8 was obviously the season where I didn't like the map change. I think the season 8 map change was my least favorite map change. It was where they added volcanoes, sunny steps, all those places up at the top right corner of the map. that is the place where I just didn't like it. I genuinely generally just didn't land there. I preferred landing, so the left side of the map. So I didn't usually land there. I think season 7 though, I mean season 8, it was season 7 or season 8 did introduce arena mode, which was a really good idea. So yeah, season 8 was alright, I suppose. It was really fast. Now on to season 9, which probably was one of the biggest map changes of them all, and that was Retail Row and Tilted. Now here's the backstory behind this. I wasn't there for the event, but Volcano erupted basically, and it was kind of small. It was like ash. Well, it wasn't. It was like volcano rock crashed into Tilted and crashed into Retail Row, destroying them both. And then in season 9, they got rebuilt into futuristic Tilted and futuristic Retail Row, also known as Mega Ball and Neo Tilted. So that's basically the backstory of all the map changes and why I think it kind of declined because of that. Season 9 is also the season where I stopped playing the game, as you probably know, because I haven't really been uploading the past few weeks, simply because I'm losing interest in the game. Now, the most controversial, well, probably the most annoying thing that happened and kind of helped declining the game was the decisions Epic Games were making. Now, before, obviously up until about, I think it was up until season 8, I believe, I'm not sure about that, but up until season 8 I think they had, well, it started on season 7 I'm pretty sure, and then it ended at about season 8, or the end of season 7. What they done was they vaulted a good few stuff. Now they vaulted bolt action, which, so you could live with that. It was a good sniper, but you could live with that because the super sniper was there anyway, and the heavy sniper. So they vaulted that. No one really cared. It was a good sniper, but it was, you could live with it. And then they had Siphon in the game. Now I have vivid imagery of how this went down, right? So they come out with an update anyway and saying that they removed the Siphon, which is you get 50 mats per kill and you get 50 health or shield per kill. Now this caused a massive, and I mean a massive, outbreak in the community of Fortnite, because people were really mad that they took it out, me including, right? And T2 came out also with a video saying that saying that he thinks it's good that Siphon's gone. Now I understand where T2's coming from, because he had a fair point behind it, but I still think Siphon should have been in the game. Now he did say that everyone was grand without Siphon in pub matches before they added it in. Now that's a fair point. They added it into pub matches, everyone loved it, but before there was no Siphon and no one cared. So he has a fair point, but as it comes in and it goes out, like, it's kind of something that everyone really hated. And from there on, I think that was when Epic Games really made the worst decisions to make the game decline. They didn't listen to the community. They just didn't really help the game. They kind of made it worse as it went on. Each update just kept on, annoying more players. It was just really annoying. So yeah, Siphon really started all this declining thing, in my opinion. So anyway, when the Siphon was over and done with, it quickly moved on to next thing. Now the next big thing was the season 8. Season 8. No, not season 8, season 9. Now this is probably the worst season when it comes to weapons and stuff in it. They took out the pump shotgun. Now before this, the pump shotgun used to one pump, and then they nerfed it so you couldn't one pump someone, and then they brought out a new shotgun. When they nerfed it, they brought out a new pump shotgun, so it was purple and legendary where you could one pump someone, and that was really good. I think that was really good for the game. That was a really good idea. And they ended up removing these two shotguns in the Season 9 update. Now, when I heard that they removed this, I was absolutely, like, really shocked and just really annoyed. And then I realized that they brought out a new shotgun called the combat shotgun. It's kind of like the tack and the pump mixed together. It wasn't the best of guns, and at the moment, yeah, I mean, you've seen the clip, I just got it. At the moment, it still isn't the best of guns, but I think people are beginning to live with it, I suppose. And you know, it's grand. Like, they brought out loads of unnecessary things, and they've vaulted loads of unnecessary things. And the main thing, and I speak for everyone in this Fortnite community, the main thing that is getting this a game declined is Epic Games themselves. I know I said they made some questionable decisions and stuff like that, but I think the main thing is that they haven't listened to the community once. Actually, no, correct, sorry, I tell a lie. They have listened to the community once, but not the whole community. They listened to the pro players most of the time. Obviously, I understand where people are coming from when they say they're helping the new players of the game, and that I totally agree with that. They're doing too much updates to help the new players of the game, and they're just really annoying and like making it harder for the players that are good. So I do understand what I'm saying from that, but when it comes to pros, I think they do make it harder for pros the most, maybe. But there's one thing that they listen to pros about, which most of the public community, even good players in the public that isn't a pro, also disagree with this. They've vaulted the drum gun. Now, the drum gun was, when it first came out, it was probably the most controversial weapon that has ever come out into the game, and they vaulted it. And you know, no one was mad about that because it was Season 5 and everyone sprayed, so everyone wanted every SMG gone. But of course, we needed an SMG in a battle royale game, so they kept one in. And they brought the drum gun back, and they done a few stuff to it to make it less overpowered as it was. And you know, I think most people were happy with it, besides the pros and maybe a few players in the community. And then they actually listened to the pros for once and vaulted the drum gun, which really upset some of the community. Now, that was probably a really bad idea when it came to listening. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most reliable person to come to explain why it's declining, because I haven't been playing Fortnite for the past 2 weeks, so I don't know what's changed in it at all, besides this storm thing, but I don't know what that does. So, yeah, I do know though that when it came to the last update, it was very, apparently it was bad. Apparently no one liked it, and it was just crazy bad. But yeah, and the statistics of the game, you know, the trend would say it's like a it's on Google. It's like a trend graph kind of yoke, and it shows how the peak of Fortnite and when it declines and stuff. So I do have seen that recently, and I have seen that Season 9 has, at the moment, Fortnite's reached the lowest point of the whole game of being there, and this comes to the question that probably everyone wants to know. I think everyone needs to face the fact that Fortnite is currently not doing well. But the question that we still haven't really gotten answered is the game able to be saved? Is the game able to be, put back maybe not put back to when like the peak Fortnite, but just put back to, we'll say, like season 7 likes of Fortnite, and I think it can easily be done. One simple solution to doing that. I say this to Epic Games now. I hope some sort of Epic Games person can listen to this. I think the thing that needs to happen is they need to listen to their community. They need to focus on the community and not just one part of the community. They can't just focus on the noobs of the community. They can't focus on the good players of the community, or they can't focus on the pros of the community. They need to make it broader and listen to the whole community and see which is the most popular demand to do what to the game. Because if you listen to the community and do what the community wants, most of the community will stay. There's no denying that people are going to die off of the game because they lose interest. You cannot regain their interest if they're not interested. That is just a fact. But you could help people get more interested if you just listen to the community when they speak. If they want to know something, if they want something to happen, you need to listen and maybe try and make it happen. You know, if you have a good reason on why you're not doing it, fair enough. But every reason I've seen for each stuff that the community complains about is absolutely stupid. It's a dreadful reason. Like, it's just excuses to make updates that you don't want to do, and that's why I think it's just they need to listen. Because if they had a clear reason and they had a good reason, understandable, fair enough, like. But every reason I've seen for every bad thing that the community doesn't like, and they give reasons why they done it, it is absolutely stupid excuses that don't need to be made. So I think they just need to listen, and you know, it will simply help the game. And I think the game can be saved. It's just Epic need to listen to the community. Alright, that's all they need to do, and you know, it'll help the game, it'll revive the game. And yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's what I have for this video anyway. Yeah, so I do want to say thank you for listening if you've seen the whole video. I do think, in my opinion, this is all in my opinion, guys, so please don't be hating on the video just because I disagree with you for something. This is all my opinion. I personally do think I speak for most of the community, but those are just my reasons why I've lost interest in the game. So yeah, thank you for listening to my reasons. I just have one more question though. I have loads of clips on Fortnite that I could put into montages because they never made montages. They're good clips, it's just I've overloaded them with more clips that I never got to get to them. Like, I never got to them to put into the video. So I just want to have one question. Do you want to see all those clips put into a video and then I can change my content, or do you want me to change my content right now? Up to you. Put it in the comments below. I don't mind. I hope you have watched the whole video. I know it's 28 minutes long. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to give a valid reason. I am seeing loads of videos saying why Fortnite is dying and all that, and I just want to clear it up and I want to have my say on it. So if you have seen the whole video and you listened to the whole thing, thank you very much. Honestly, I really do appreciate that, to take your time, you know, half an hour of your time just to watch a video of me ranting on about how bad Fortnite is. No, seriously though, I appreciate it a lot that you have listened to the whole thing, to it, see my reason, and I hope this. Please do share this with loads of people, because I really do want people to see my reasons behind on why Fortnite is dying. Like I said, if Epic listen to the community and do what the community want, the game can easily be saved. That is just a fact. That is with any game. If you listen to the community, it will be saved. Yeah, like I said, if you want to see more Fortnite content, I can easily do that for you. No bother. Just say it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, especially if you watched the whole half an hour of it. And yeah, if you want me to do a part 2 of this, I can do that as well. Peace.